Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from two people who probably shouldn't be doing a podcast.
No, I don't
because
think so.
we have barely got our voice left after going to see Oasis at the weekend, which was very good, wasn't it?
Excellent, yeah, but very tiring because we were sleeping in a van and
A shitty little van.
you never get a great quality night's sleep when you're all crammed together and everybody's farting and
Yeah,
not
well,
me, but
it was a brilliant weekend, but yeah, we're absolutely slammed at the minute. I remember we was talking about when we went to, we had that run of Primavera, Bonnaroo, Pink Pop coming up, and that was like really daunting.
yeah.
And we kind of smashed that, to be honest, and
Yeah.
it didn't end up being as bad as I thought. But then realizing now that actually, at least me, I've now got essentially that again.
Yeah, and
because
a
I
lot
didn't
more
know
tiring
about
as
it.
well.
I mean, I did know about the events that's on and stuff, but I just didn't really compute that, like, how little time I had. It's been a stressful week, but I bleed for you, and I'm an artist, and I'm here to deliver my art to you. DEFCON 1 video came out yesterday.
What was the reception? People annoyed?
Do you know what? I have a ton of respect for the hardstyle community because there is like some, mardy bums in there. You're always going to get some mardy bums. I'm really realizing, like, not only can you not please everyone, but like don't even aim to try and please everyone anymore because there's always people that you can't. But this event, we tried to be as respectful as possible while also being like, this is shit. And all the people that kind of like the event, they're just kind of laughing at us.
Yeah.
And in a nice way though, which is the whole thing that we want. Like, you got to remember, we go somewhere to make a video. Like, the primary thing is to make a video, and if we've entertained you with our video, then that's the job done.
Yeah, and I think it's refreshing because a lot of people, they seem to get almost offended when you don't enjoy the same things as them. Like, if somebody says to me, oh, I hate the 1975, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, like,
it's so strange,
listen to real music. It's like, oh yeah, because everybody's got different preferences and tastes.
So the DEFCON community has all been like, nice one for going, lads, nice one for trying it out. Yeah, it's not for everyone, like, it's quite intense.
Yeah.
Maybe next time take some of this, take some of that, and it's like, it's class, and it's
Love
a community that, like, I would love to sit down and have a chat with.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, dare I say this, and I'll keep the army at bay here, but I don't think Fontaine's DC were very good at Primavera.
Oh God, yeah.
So I didn't say they weren't very good. I just didn't say anything, As they say, if you don't have out nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Oh, how can you not feature? How can you not say things about? What do you mean idols were boring?
That's the thing. And when you just said about, don't aim to try and please everyone, I've really taken that on recently. And if I see something that someone said, I've got that so far in my mind of like, people are going to get even just mad at you for
it's very
anything
strange.
you do. If you fall on this side, this people are mad at you. If you fall on the other side, the other people are mad at you. It's like, well, I'll just be myself then and enjoy what I like.
I've been looking in the Reddit. I do like to dip my toes in the Reddit every now and again. And it's quite healthy at the minute. There's a good mix of like legitimate constructive criticism, people just flaming for the sake of it, and positive stuff as well. It's like a good mixed bag. And one of the people that was detracting made a really good comment, and it was like thoughtful, insightful. It was negative about our video, but it was like I can take that. And then there was some really good like discourse, like a conversation about it, and like back and forth, and it was like, oh, cool. Like it's critical of us, but like it makes sense. Though someone did say like one of the big things is like, can't believe you missed Power Hour. And Power Hour is like, it's on like the last day or the second to last day, and it's an hour that you just can't miss apparently. But it is literally just the same as everything else.
Yeah.
Like, we watched it on the stream and it's literally just the same.
Yeah, I guess if you're not versed in that community, you won't tell the difference.
I used a analogy in the Discord, in the Patreon Discord, which might work, it might not, but I was like, it's like wearing a catheter all weekend, and you can take the catheter out if you want and fuck off. But like, there's an even bigger catheter that you can put in for an hour that only goes in if you've loosened up with the smaller catheter.
What a strange analogy.
What I was trying to say is like, sift through this shit because there's an even bigger concentrated hour of shit coming. The only comment that I took issue was someone saying like, oh, you didn't, at least make the effort, lads. It's like, Raz drove for 14 fucking hours, man. People knew the effort that goes into this channel in every aspect.
I know.
But it's all good. As I say, it's been a positive discourse and the video's done really well. I don't know when we started getting like 80,000, 85,000 views first day, but like it's just happened under my nose.
Brilliant.
I think because like we're always kind of chasing this higher number of like your 400,000s, your 500,000s and stuff. It's easy to get lost in the fact that like, so it's done 77,000 and it's been up for like 23 hours or just about 24 hours. And that's not even the top of the table for the last 10. It's good, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's easy to forget.
A lot of like YouTubers that I watch that have way more subscribers than us, they don't hit that in. I think we've got a consistent audience, which is really, really nice.
We're really lucky, and it's why we get to keep doing it. It really is. And I sound like a broken record with that sometimes, but it's true.
Yeah.
And speaking of our great audience, we'll get on to our main topic for today. So I did an AMA, which is an Ask Me Anything. I used Instagram. This was like a little bit ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I used Instagram because I didn't have a death wish. I wasn't going to do it on the Reddit like you normally do. Though I think at the end of this series, if this series goes well, I will do a Reddit one and it'll be all fun and games. But then it was like, who should we do the AMA for next? And you were the obvious choice because you're everyone's favourite for some fucking reason.
Yeah, God knows why.
We got a load of questions and I've shortlisted them. And we'll just dig in. So it's just any kind of audience question for Mez. There's ones about all different things. So we'll just jump into it. If you want to participate in the next one, then jump on the Instagram official TPD TV and let us know who you want to see next as well in the comments. That's about enough preamble from me. We'll get started.
Yeah.
Feeling good?
Yeah, this will be fun, I think.
Okay, so first question from Hi, this is Ed.
Hi,
says, do you have a favourite tattoo?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of questions about your tattoos, actually.
Okay. So my hand tattoos are probably my favourite. The camera won't really be able to see this, will it?
No, but they've seen you.
Yeah, they're like symmetrical and they're definitely my favourite ones I've ever got. And they hurt the most as well.
Really?
So it was worth the pain if they're my favourite.
Suffer for your art.
Yeah.
Just like me in Final Cut Pro.
Yeah, exactly the same thing, really.
He's got like an add-on saying, did you ever get one at a festival? Have you got any from a festival?
Yeah, I have. I've got a Carl Pilkington tattoo.
Of course, the stick and pokes.
Yeah, but that wasn't from like an official, tattooist at the festival. It was someone that we were with that did it in a tent. And I love it. It's a great tattoo.
It is actually pretty good.
And it's held up well. I got that maybe 7-8 years ago.
Was that long? No, it couldn't have been that long ago. Because I
2019, so 6 years ago, yeah.
Blimey, time flies.
Yeah.
Brandon FT9 says, what's your go-to meal deal?
Okay, so I'll start by saying that the best place for a meal deal is Tesco. My go-to is, I'm going to get some hate for this, I know it.
Right.
I'm funny with chicken from meal deals. It creeps me out. So I go for the spicy bean and cheese wrap. I get a chocolate croissant as my
I didn't know
snack.
you could get that.
Yeah, anything from the bakery is a meal deal snack.
Oh, that's cool.
Which really bumps it up a bit.
Because that's quite a lot of like bloat that kind of fills you up more.
And I also get a cafe latte protein coffee.
You're getting a good value there.
Bang for your buck.
I had a wrap today. They do like a onion bhaji wrap. Like
in Tesco.
Indian kitchen. Yeah. And it was really nice.
Yeah, they're lovely, the Indian ones.
Here's a question that don't get asked enough, really, and really did. It wasn't a big deal, so don't sweat it, but like it really did detract from the editing process of the Oasis video. Sarah Liz says, what's up with all the accidental slow-mo clips?
You know what? It's just being off your head, I think. It doesn't happen when I'm sober. This one was time-lapse, wasn't it?
No, it was still slow-mo, but you just thought it was time-lapse.
Oh. Yeah, it must just be, if you have an iPhone, you open your camera, it's on video, or you think it's on video because it's still got the red record button. But
so why don't any of us ever do that?
because I go harder than ollies.
Is that right?
It makes sense.
Okay.
It makes sense. And I'm too focused on my camera being clean as well. So that...
Imagine like Spielberg. The lens was clean, but I just shot it in black and white.
But yeah, I'm really trying to get better at that.
Well, if you want to improve, you can, on your device, you can remove the slow-mo after the fact. Instead of just sending me the slow-mo. Because I can't do anything with the slow-mo. Once you send it to me, it's baked in. You can click edit and retime it and remove the slow-mo element. But then we're left with a 720p clip. But
okay. Well, I'll show me that afterwards, and I'll do that.
Thank you, Sarah, for asking the question that has been on my mind for a long time. Liz Baker 30 says, if there was one thing you could make mandatory at all festivals, what would it be?
Female urinals. Easy. I saw Glasgow had female urinals this year.
Did they?
Yeah, it was the Pequel ones, the same ones that was at Download. They're just better. If you really need a wee, you can go for a wee.
Absolutely.
Like, that's a basic human.
Fundamental human right, that. Cool. Fox Coleman says, quite specific, what's your favourite band out of all the ones you've seen in the past 4 years?
I'd love to know why 4 years.
Innit?
4 years. AC/DC
good answer.
At Power Trip were phenomenal. I'd love to see them again, but...
What about Idols, though, at Primavera?
Oh, well, it's a tough one, that. It's got to be AC/DC. Good
answer.
Thanks.
I'd probably agree. Okay, so I've clicked the wrong thing. Darren Lovell PF says, do you think that spending so much time with the guys will help you in future relationships?
Interesting. I don't know if is that like a sarcastic?
No, I think what he's maybe meaning is like, you've got so much experience now hanging around with lads. Is that giving you any like? I mean, that's the question. I've read it. You can interpret.
All right, I don't think so, because I'm the same when I'm hanging out. I have a best friend group of girls as well, and I'm the exact same with them as I am with you guys. So it's not like I would change the way I behave based on you lot. I understand a little bit more about... I've got like a good vantage point of... I'm in a friend group where I can ask all of you lot for objective advice about men. And I know you'll tell me the truth, because nobody in the friend group is trying it on with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of male friendships end up being where the guy actually is only your mate because he fancies you.
Yeah.
Like my childhood best friend that ruined our friendship about 2 years ago.
And I've been that best friend as well, like back in like late high school. I've been that guy. Yeah,
but so if I were to ask a guy like that any kind of question, I couldn't really trust their answer, but when I've been in relationships in the past, I can go to any of these lot and ask them, and I know they're telling me the truth. And it's good to get a male opinion on things sometimes, but I'm pretty good in a relationship anyway. I don't need these clowns' help. Fucking hell.
Good in a relationship, not good with the slow-mo button. Miricello says, Mary, how do you balance your work and TPD life? How does it affect your social life?
It can be a bit hard sometimes because I have a full-time job. So all my annual leave is used to do, things with the channel, which is great because I have a blast and I get to do amazing things. But it means that like when my girl mates approach me and they're like, should we go on a holiday this summer? I'm like, I don't really have the annual leave. I've confirmed all these things, and it can be a bit tough finding times where we're free during the summer. I don't really see a lot of my other friends in the summertime because they don't live in Leeds, so it takes a bit of planning to see them. But my main social life is with these lot anyway, so it doesn't really affect that aspect. But it does make me quite tired a lot of the time.
Absolutely. Good question. Johnnyography says, what's the best new band you've seen in 2025?
New band. There There was somebody live at Leeds. Do you remember the girl group? Oh, it wasn't all girls,
but about Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday's in the name.
Sunday.
They were amazing.
They're the wrong answer, by the way. I've actually got your answer.
Oh, have you? It's hard to remember a new band I've seen. But they were very good. Reminded me of Japanese House, which is one of my favourite bands.
Yeah, they were good.
What's the right answer?
I mean, I thought you would have gone for, and I know I'm not here to answer these questions, but just as a reminder, Confidence Man were pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, true, but I wouldn't say they're not a band.
They are.
They're not. They're a group.
They're a band.
They're not really a band.
They literally are a band.
Not, all right.
Hey, it's your answer.
Different definitions. Confidence Man are phenomenal. I'm upset. I've even followed them on Instagram,
so I'm
which I never
thrilled to
do.
see that they're actually a Fuji Rock.
So
they're one of like the three artists now that we've heard of.
Yeah, I'm glad that you've got someone else there.
Cordero C10 says, "What's your funniest memory from a festival?"
God, it's really hard to think. I'm blessed enough that there's so many funny memories. I
think we've laughed a lot this year.
Literally been hilarious this year. Don't know why, it's just been so much funnier. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at thinking on the spot like that. And I know we're on a podcast, so I can't just sit and think.
We'll go into a different question then from Timmy Harborn, who says, which one of the lads farts the most?
Okay.
Sure, you don't need too much time to think about that one.
No, actually, yours are the most unpleasant.
Thank you.
In fact, that might not even be true. Dan farts like a thunderclap, like reverberation.
I thought you liked AC/DC.
But they also stink, really like fresh. Yours are stale, so they're a bit more bearable.
Thank you.
But Raz has been bad this weekend for it. I shared a bed with Raz and it was very unpleasant.
Look at you. Johnny Sims 115 says, who's better, Chapel Roan or Sabrina Carpenter?
Chapel. I've been loving, I would have said Sabrina before I saw Chapel live, but I've been listening to Chapel a lot more now. And Sabrina, I love her, but her songs are all quite similar in a way, but Chapel's got, I don't know, Chapel, 100%.
Fairs. Delirious Angel 7 says, what's it like being the only girl in a group of lads? Are there ever girls around with us but not in the vids? Like, remember when, so for example, I took my girlfriend to Rockville, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And we meticulously edited her out of every single shot, and she was definitely there with us in the RV.
And she had a separate RV as well.
God.
Yeah, there are other lasses around, like Raz's girlfriend Rach comes to quite a lot of stuff. Love Rach. Love all the boys' girlfriends. They're great, and it can be really refreshing sometimes to have a girl around. But I think to give the boys some credit, they don't treat me differently because I'm a girl, but they acknowledge things that I might need because I'm a girl. So I never feel like for example, you in particular are very empathetic with me if I happen to be on my period when we're away. And when we were at Benicassim, we booked a hotel because I was on my period. You were like, let's just do it. Like, we've got the TP, but we'll book the hotel. Like, you're on your period. It's uncomfortable in this heat. Things like that.
Probably more uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, but you were probably lying, but I appreciated the lie.
Selfish act.
So what was the first part of the question?
First one was like, what's it like being the only girl?
Oh, what's it like?
And then the second part was like, is there girls around us and we're just not putting them in the video?
I'm lucky enough to not even really feel the gender difference because we're just mates. You know, I'm disgusting around these lot. I really am disgusting.
You're worse
around
than
them.
any of us.
Yeah, I'm vile. So and they don't.
It's not even about vile. It's just like you're not like disgusting in like a dirty sense. It's just like you just clutter up the fucking place.
Okay, that wasn't what I was thinking, but
well, that's what I'm thinking.
But yeah, I don't really even feel it. Like, it's fine. I don't feel any. There's very few groups of men I could hang around with on a prolonged basis without feeling like, ugh.
Alex Starkey 1, another girl-related question, says, Would you take an all-girl group to a festival to film it, and what festival would it be? So maybe disregard that last bit, but
I'd love to do that, but who are the girls?
This is the thing. So there's like and again, I know these aren't my questions, but like something that, like, these people around us, whether they're girlfriends or partners or family members, they've not signed up for being on camera and doing a vlog. Do you know what I mean? So while, they're probably with us at an event, potentially, we're much more reluctant to just put a camera in their face. They've not signed up to be showcased to 100 to 300,000 people.
Yeah.
There may be, and I want to say this in the right way, but maybe they're not as charismatic on camera or as personable because they've not had a load of time. Like, it's hard to just go, you guys are all now involved.
Yeah, and they don't really want to be.
We don't want to, there's no...
For example, like, we went to see 1975, we did a few shows last year, and a couple of my girlfriends came. They both work in the NHS. It's a total... They would get sacked if they were on a YouTube video getting drunk and, so, like, April. So, like, April was not even shown on camera once, like, even in the background. So it's things like that. And it might seem like we're not, I don't know, involving them, but as soon as the camera goes down, we're all, like, together and very much a group. It's just with
You'll see Rach pop up from time to time.
Yeah.
Rach is probably the most frequent one of the girls, but even that's very minimal because, again, Rach hasn't signed up for that, man. Rach just wants to chill out and have a good time. Yeah. So it is what it is.
But if Rach came to you at the end of the weekend and like, oh, Rob, I got these clips, great. Like, you know what I mean? But she just don't want it. She wants to come and have a good time, and
there's zero expectation on her as well. Like,
yeah.
That's the thing. You can. I don't want to. It's not my question. I'm going to shut up. Sorry, I always have a lot to say.
No, it's better than it just being you asking me a question.
Millie Lippold says, how are your eyebrows always so perfect?
Oh, thank you, Millie. So interesting. People either hate my eyebrows or really like them. Just tweeze them a lot. And there's a product by a company called Fine, Fyne, and it basically it stays on until you wash it off. Like, it's amazing. So I kind of might elongate the tail a bit where I don't naturally grow hair. That keeps it even in, like, sweaty, horrible environments. So check that product out. It's good.
There was a lot. I don't know if I've highlighted a specific question as we go on, but there was a lot of questions about, like, your routine and hair and loads of questions about that.
Well, someone commented on my recent post asking for like a festival tutorial of, like, beauty, and I said I'll speak to Rob about doing a podcast about that, which we could do separately, because I have a lot of tips. I've learned a lot over the years about how to not look disgusting.
When are you going to put those into action? Becca LS says, are there any artists you haven't seen live that you would like to see?
Definitely, yeah. I'm just trying to think of one. Who's one we were speaking about we've never seen?
There's loads.
There is loads, like
Radiohead, Paul McCartney are my big three.
I don't share those.
No.
Oh, sorry, I just can't think.
That's all good.
Sorry.
It's a bit more of that kind of question. I've tried to avoid questions. Like, I appreciate you guys sending them in, but I've tried to make them a bit more like, instead of it just being like generic interview podcast question.
If something pops up in middle of this, I'll just quickly answer that.
William Warren 1 says, what did you think of Stockport?
I thought it was actually a really nice town.
Yeah,
I was expecting it to be a bit of a shuttle, but I was really impressed. It looked modern, and there was some nice charming little bars there. Yeah,
really good little spot, wasn't it? IG Daisy Shaw says, what's your least favourite festival experience?
Festival I probably had the worst time at, unless something else hadn't sprung to mind, but the first thing that I did was Pucklepot.
Yeah.
Just really underwhelming, nothing to do. I did try samurai sauce for the first time there, so that is a highlight. But it just felt like more of a chore being there than anything else, which sounds bad, but
it's just
true,
isn't it? That's how some things are. Especially when you get to that back end of the year and you're you know, we're kind of clutching at straws, like what events are still on.
It was a rush as well. Like we arrived at night time. We had to run to the box office that was going to close in about 10 minutes. And I wasn't very well that weekend. So I just wasn't feeling it. So it was, yeah.
The interesting thing is people probably would never have guessed that because it doesn't really come across in the video too much. It's like the difference between like, okay, well, something's going on with you, like you're not well. But that's not like the video's business so much.
Yeah.
Whereas like, so people will be thinking like download's probably your worst one because you had the Yorkie and
oh my God, why didn't I think of that?
But I think like, I mean, that's such an easy answer, but it's interesting when you mention that actually I was having a really bad time at this festival, but they might not have even known that.
Yeah,
you know
that is true. That is true. I mean, at
when
download,
stuff's going on that's not funny, that you know, that like it's funny if you're shitting and had a bad Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah.
If you've got like bad migraines or whatever, and that's not like something that the video's going to enjoy or be, you know.
I was having a big health struggle that weekend, but the download thing specifically, what was awful about that was I was really excited to see Fall Out Boy and I couldn't go, and I was laid in my tent, freezing cold, just slightly being able to hear Fall Out Boy while I'm shitting in a bucket. That was quite a low moment.
I mean, I'd have loved to see Fall Out Boy with you and Raz. You weren't there. Raz barely moved an inch because he was poorly, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Evs7787 says, would you ever go to DEF CON?
Not after your experience. Definitely not.
Jack Edwards here, sorry, says, what's the most drunk you've been on one of the videos?
Oh, it's hard to say. I think maybe the Leeds Fest, where I went off to find the
Yorkie again, wasn't it?
Because I ended up somehow, I don't know where I went, but I ended up back in the arena, but coming from the other side of the festival, and I got back in and it was obviously all closed. But I get to a point when I drink where I black out. I don't remember anything, and I have to look at the video to see what I were up to. And they're the real anxiety-inducing things to watch yourself when I've got my drunk voice on. And
Pardon?
Can't you tell what I said?
No.
When I've got my drunk voice on.
Oh.
And my eyes are going in different directions. And I'm super northern.
That's got to be something I never worry about because obviously I don't want to cause you any anxiety. But like I, as the editor, I see all that and I ultimately, I mean, if there's something you don't want in there, we'll talk about it and we'll come to an agreement. And usually that is, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Or it gets removed, you know?
Yeah. I overthink things a lot.
But it must be tough when you're not in control to deliver that footage and then be like, I hope that's not too bad.
Yeah. It's quite anxiety.
And that's why I always try and give people a preview.
But you're very, very nice at either just making me realise, no, that's fine, and or being like, it's a 5-second clip, I'll just remove it because it's better than causing you a bit of anxiety.
Lewis98 says, what's it like constantly being referred to as Rob's sister?
It's just a bit funny at this point. It's a joke, isn't it, at this point? When someone comes up to us and they're like, oh, Rob's sister, we all kind of look at each other and just laugh because it's a joke, but like between us.
The guy at Oasis did it.
Yeah.
And he meant no harm and he was polite and nice and he shook your hand
at
the end. And it's like, if I was you, I wouldn't have any issue with that. But sometimes I think it does.
And that is an instance I didn't.
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes it can be a little bit like, I don't know, because, you know, nobody goes up to Raz and says, oh, it's Rob's mate, or like any other boys. But for me, it's always just Rob's sister. And I don't think it's that deep.
It's strange because you're not super portrayed as my sister necessarily. No. Like, we have the same surname. Maybe that's where they're getting it from. But like, it's very rare that like this is my sister. Like, I will probably call Raz my brother more than I call you my sister on a video.
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it?
It's not that deep. As long as people don't mean it in like a demeaning way and like kind of trying to reduce my
my contribution or
my
importance.
contribution, yeah, to the group, and it kind of makes me feel a bit alienated from the friend group in people's minds, when really I am
just as much
solid part of. We're all like best mates, so. But yeah, people don't mean all bad by it. It is just a bit funny now.
So we got one here from Emma Walton. It says, if you could have dinner with 3 famous people, dead or alive, who are they?
Carl Pilkington.
Right.
Larry David.
Excellent.
And them two would get on like a house on fire. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's you know him?
Yeah, everyone knows who Neil deGrasse Tyson is.
That'd be because he'd be blowing Carl's mind. Larry would be like...
No, Carl would be infuriating Neil. Because Carl would come back to him with like a solution or like a...
Yeah, he would.
Alternate
They'd
thinking.
have a good funny dynamic for me to sit back and watch. And then Larry would be rinsing Carl. It'd be great, that.
It would be good. Shame I didn't get invited. So, Olivia Me says, I'm going to rephrase this, but just like, you've always got like big nails on.
Yeah.
Is that much of a challenge when you go into these festivals?
Honestly, no. My nails are very long, to be fair, and it's part of my identity now. Like, they don't bother me, and I find that when I get them removed, because I had them on for like 2 years, and then I had a break for a month, and it was like when you have nails like this, your brain recalibrates where the ends of your fingers are, so you get to... It might not make sense to you, but when I had my nails off, I was texting wrong, and because I'm used to a pattern of my thumb goes there to press this key. That's not about a festival, but there's no challenge at a festival at all. The only thing is maybe opening a can, which I've got people around that can do that for me.
The clip on the Oasis video with the opening can is mental.
I know.
You must have been out of your mind.
I was fucked.
Literally, like, it's not open.
I was trying to drink as much as possible because I knew that my drink choices were very limited in the
and we went
stadium.
Straight to bed.
And what?
And then we just went to bed. We
Well,
didn't go out, did we?
Yeah, I went out.
Oh, was that the second night?
Oh, why? What happened with the buzzball?
The first night, we couldn't get into Mary's, so we went home at like 11:30 p.m.
Oh, right. Yeah.
John Vatis returns. John Vatique returns, says, what live act has made you do like a 180 opinion after seeing him live? It can be good or bad.
I'd probably go with Chapel for this, because before I saw her live, like, I'm sure everybody's seen all the discourse about Chapel, like being maybe a little bit arrogant or like unlikable, and I was almost a low-key hater privately about her, and I tried not to even listen to her songs, and then I saw her live and I was like, you know what, she's sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's good enough that
Great point.
I don't care what your personality's like.
Have you been listening to much P. Diddy then?
Draw the line at some things.
Interesting. Okay, so Erica Living Today says, how do you integrate TPD shoots within and around your work life?
Like going away and doing videos.
Yeah.
Shoots. Book annual leave. But I'm smart with it. Like, if we're traveling somewhere on the day, like say we're going up to Glasgow, which we're doing tomorrow, don't need to book any annual leave because I can work on the train. Like, I've got to be smart to save as many days as I can, because obviously you're limited as to what, how many days you've got when you've got like a normal job. And I just try and get... does she mean like my job?
What she means is essentially you work full time.
Yeah.
So how are you doing this all the time?
Oh, okay.
That's how I would take it.
Yeah.
And I think you've answered it. It's just about working smart. Like,
yeah, like making sure I get like so much done before I go anywhere, because I know when I come back on the day, like I'll probably be quite tired, and I want to...
It's the beauty of having a job where like, so in, sorry to jump in here, but like, so in my job, there was a certain amount of time in the lockdown where I was like trusted to be an adult, and I knew the job I had to get done, and however quickly I can do that job, then maybe I can free up some time for something else.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's perfect.
Whereas then when I went back into the office, and it's like micromanaging and this, that, and the other, and it's adults should be treated like adults. And,
yeah.
And I'm glad that you and Raz in particular are trusted in your job as adults to, this is your job. We need X done by this time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can front load some of that work.
Yeah, and I'm so lucky. I've got an amazing manager. She's great, and yeah, work for a really nice place. So I'm trusted, not micromanaged. So it's good. If I had a different job, I'd probably struggle quite a lot, to be honest.
Eric has asked a couple more questions. One says, has traveling changed your outlook on life?
I was thinking about this the other day because, like me and Rob, we never went on holidays as a kid. Went abroad maybe like 3 times before I started properly like being in the videos and doing things with the channel. So I was very like not experienced in traveling, and going to America in particular and interacting with Americans, especially in the South. Like there's a guy that I met that I think about all the time, you know, the guy who was in Pilot, and he was just so nice and funny.
Yeah.
And you just meet people like, and yeah, it does kind of change. I feel a bit more, I don't know, mature's not the word, but I just feel like I have a bit more of an understanding of like the world, in not to sound like a douchebag that I've been in Bali for like 6 months, but yeah, I love it. It's so enriching to your life to like just see another culture.
And then the last question from Erica, this was a good one, so I wanted to put it in. Discuss the emotions from landing in your birth country.
Okay, so I've never been back to Germany since I left, and I don't have memories of it, but I think it hit me because, you know, my dad lived there for years before me and Rob were born. Don't know how many years, got to be like 10 plus.
I'm not, maybe.
I think definitely
I
10.
couldn't tell you.
But, you know, he had a whole life there. He had a business there. Like, my mum went out there to live with him, and I've seen so many like baby pictures, videos of us there. And I think obviously he's died. And I think just when I was looking out, I had the window seat, and like the weather was beautiful and it looked beautiful, and I was just like, I felt a pull. I felt like I don't know the term, but it just felt very like emotional to me. Like,
Love
I'm
it.
back.
I'm
bitch.
back. Bad news. Bad news. Love that. Crowns for Frown says, what's your favourite series at the minute?
Okay, it was Squid Game. I just finished watching that.
Really?
Oh,
What, season 1?
No, it's done now. Season 3 just came out.
Oh, you watched season 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I've only seen season 1.
Oh, you should. It's just so good. Because it's not just gore. It's like actual like good plot.
I mean, I
and
didn't
that.
really remember much gore anyway.
Oh, there's a lot of gore.
Is there?
Severance, all-time favourite series. Pending how it wraps itself up, but right now it's fantastic. So currently they're the 2 that's on my brain. Malcolm in the Middle as well.
We're going to switch now into a bit more of a difficult question. Linda says, how does it feel when at certain times you are sexualized by members of the fandom in like the comments? Do you ever feel unsafe?
You know what? I think it depends on what they're saying. Sometimes you read a comment and it's by a guy who clearly like fancies you, but it's not. It's quite a nice comment, like it's flattering. But then you read comments and it's people that clearly just see me as, you know, an object, and it's I hate that shit. Like somebody commented on the Insta and put tits. I think it was And it's things like that, and it's like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, yeah, that really bothers me.
Maybe they were talking about Chucky.
But yeah, it depends on the tone of it. Like, if I don't think that they see me as a human being, then that pisses me off and bothers me. But if I just think they fancy me, it's like, oh, thanks.
Fair player. Satan Ice Lamo 13 says, what's your favourite crisps?
My favourite crisp, probably Funyuns, America Funyuns.
Good choice, yeah. They are good.
English crisps, though. The first thing that came to my mind was Happy Snacks.
Oh, they are great.
Tomato flavoured Happy Snacks.
They don't pop up often enough.
No, you don't ever see them, but they're fantastic.
Victoria Smith says, would you ever consider vlogging on your own or for your own channel? You're my fave.
Thank you. Definitely not for my own channel, because that would be all. It depends if I'm going to like something that is not festival or music related, then maybe, but I wouldn't ever start my own channel anyway. But it would feel weird to do that because it's a group thing. What was the first part? Would I ever vlog on my own?
Yeah, just basically, would you ever start up your own thing instead of like...
No, I mean, vlogging on my own, there was a year at Leeds Fest where the boys all went down to Reading, and I was kind of given the task of like capture this day of Leeds Fest, and I actually really enjoyed that. It's quite fun, like having the creative control, and I think it ended up being quite funny.
Yeah, it did.
But it's not something I'm really interested in. I like the group dynamic. That's part of what makes doing this fun for me.
And if you're on the TPD bank card and accreditation, you will not be posting that footage anywhere other than on the TPD channel.
Exactly, it wouldn't be right.
Oscar Raina says, what's your favourite festival?
Boomtown.
Roll the fuck on, Boomtown.
Cannot wait for Boomtown. It's like entering another planet. I don't even like the music. But that's how good of a festival it really is. Like, it shits all over Coachella.
Coachella catching strays there.
But that would be usually my favourite festival is Coachella, because like of the music, the headliners, like the scenery. But Boomtown has everything that you could ever want at a festival.
Jess Barber says, have you banged any of the gang, lol?
Is that all girl that's asked that?
Yeah, or a guy called Jess, which does happen sometimes.
Yeah, it can happen. No, I want to categorically say not so much as a lingering hug has happened between me and any of these lot. I have no interest and they have no interest, because the thing people might not realise is, with the exception of Chalk and Jake, the boys have known me since they knew you, and I'm younger than you. So they've seen me when I was like 11 or 12. Do you know what I mean?
So Chalk and Jake are the ones that
but Chalk and Jake are both in committed I'm just saying.
Well,
they are. But they've known me since I was a literal child, and they look at me as Rob's sister. So it would never even slightly enter their brains in terms of our dynamic. And same with like, I just know basically, but I want to be so clear, because people think that.
You ever watch like people out there listening, you know, like JCS criminal psychology and stuff, and when they ask you, like when the detectives ask you a question and you over answer it, you're usually hiding something. I knew you were going to
say that. Do you want there to be rumours flying around about me and X person in the group?
If they're commenting, they're commenting.
Look,
Mary is right, though. Of course it is a no. Rosar says, which festival item would you recommend all newbies take with them?
I would recommend a sleep mask that has like built-in headphones, Because I always take that to a festival, and you get back to your tent and it's always loud. There's people shouting, music playing. You want to get to sleep. Put a YouTube video on or whatever you listen to fall asleep, and that just helps you sleep enough so you can have a good day the next day.
Good advice. I know you can't survive without that fucking eyesore that you strap to your head.
Yep.
Cod Dog says, what made you want to be more involved in the channel?
I don't think...
Free trip to Coachella probably sweetened it, didn't it? I'm joking.
I never went to Rob and said, Rob, I want to be in more videos. I think it just naturally progressed in terms of us hanging out more. And
when was it that you kind of started becoming more of a mainstay? Because it seems like, at least for as long as the channel has been what you could call successful, you've been there. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know when. I don't even know when it happened as such.
Don't, because I was in vid, but obviously to nowhere near the degree I'm in now. But I was.
We would go out in like a day in the life, like 70 and what have you. You know, we go out into Leeds and stuff. So we would.
Yeah,
we would be doing it then.
I've always loved hanging around with Rob, but I think over the last several years, our relationships evolved to a place where we're closer than ever, and I think we're over because like when I was younger, like significantly younger, I'd want to go out. Oh, I'm off out with my mates. Can I come? No, obviously, because why would he bring his little sister out with me?
Right.
Yeah. And it's kind of just evolved to, I think maybe part of it, you realising, I actually don't mind hanging out with Mary, even though, she's my sister. But yeah, so it wasn't that I was like, I want to be in more videos now. It was just a matter of, Mary's ingratiated more into the group over time, and it's led to.
Ultimately, like we have I say unwritten, but we all kind of acknowledge it. We as a group have like a collective outlook of like morals and kind of ethos and behaviors and like if you meet that criteria, no matter who you are, like chances are we'll hang out with you. And that's why we managed to end up still like making best friends in our late 20s with like people like Chalk. I mean, we was in our mid 20s when we met Chalk.
Ryan,
but like Ryan,
Jack,
like Sam, like Jack Smith, we're so lucky to have a load of them, and if you meet the criteria of like you can laugh at yourself, you're generous without expecting anything necessarily immediately back, there is this kind of thing, and we've lost friends for not meeting that criteria, when Mans is not willing to spend the quid on a McFlurry because they're worried they're not going to get the quid back. and there's all these kind of things about like laughing at yourself, being a team player, contributing towards the collective kind of vibe, and you just obviously met that.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is better than you just my sister who was able to be in the videos.
That's the thing. Like it's not like I say. I've never said, Rob, I want to come to I want to be in more things. It's just been a natural progression of like becoming closer over time with every member of our group. I consider there's not one person in our group that I couldn't like go on a night out with just them, and there wouldn't be an awkward moment or like because we all just get on so well.
Love it. Billy T says, if given the opportunity, would you go full time at TPD?
We have discussed this in the past, like the potential possibility, and I don't know because when I look at like Rob's schedule, it'd make me panic if I had that amount to do.
It makes me panic, to be fair.
And I take a lot of value in like, I love weightlifting at the gym, and if I was on a schedule like Rob's, even when Rob's back for a few days, after doing a big event where you've been drinking a lot, I can't go have a good weight session, and I'd know that I would enjoy it immensely, but I would also feel a massive slump in my own personal self-care. So I don't know.
It is tough. I mean, I'm not down the mines, but it definitely is like the hardest work I've ever done in my life.
Physically physically grueling.
And when, you know, there would be an expectation of you then as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like right now, it's kind of like, you know, the calendar invites go out and I'll confirm what I can. But if I was full time, obviously I'd be getting a wage from the channel, and then there would be an expectation of, well, we need another person for this, Mary. Like you're literally getting paid, so you have to come. And then that might end up reducing the enjoyment I get when I do go to things. So I don't know.
I mean, I think it did with Vals. You know,
Yeah.
Vals is the only other person who was full time, and the reason he was made full time is just circumstantially that it worked. Like, it's not like we have a backlog of you're next. It was just the right time, the right thing, and he was without work, and he was at the time very low cost, and it was really fun, and he was loving it. And I remember him saying to me, like, because I would check in with him, obviously make sure he was doing all right.
Yeah.
And you know, just checking that he's got what he needs and what have you. And there was a quote, and I don't want to misquote Vals because I know the Reddit go mental on that, but it was something like, it's cool, like slumming it now, like, you know, getting through all this slog, because it will eventually pay off into like something like substantial.
Yeah.
And this was like after Coachella and stuff, you know, this was like in our current era.
Yeah.
But then it quickly does become so much to do. And obviously Vals was expected at everything, which is the right thing, because he's taking a salary in the same way that I'm expected at everything. And it did just cause him to probably fall out of love with it for a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's understandable. I mean, as well for me, like I think as much as I complain, like, oh, I got to work today, I find a lot of value in the routine and structure that a job provides me, and one that I enjoy so much. And in the winter months, when we're not doing anything, I think I'd probably get a bit depressed.
It is
just not having any purpose in my day.
It does.
No offense.
No, you're right. Like, yeah, thank God for Red Dead. But you know, in an ideal world, if we reached a point where like we had loads and loads of money, and then we could just pay. I mean, I'd like to say everyone, but realistically, you know, we could pay like maybe 5 of us a salary without the expectation.
Yeah.
That like, you know, if we had that freedom, but if there's money going out of the channel, especially like salary money, because it's a small business, it's just, we need to get the value out of that.
Yeah,
investment.
and any money that is made by the channel immediately just gets put back out into something else as well. It's not like there's a pot that's sitting and growing and growing and growing, is it? It's like...
It's growing in the wrong direction to this year, because we've not had much accreditation.
No, we haven't recently.
Just because we're trying events that have never heard of us.
Yeah.
Like, we could easily do a full summer of like accredited festivals, no problem. We could stay in the UK. We could, you know, festivals would love to have us, but how entertaining is that for our audience?
Well, yeah. And it gets repetitive for us as well.
True. I answered a lot of that question for you.
No, it's good to have the back and forth.
ACM Lice. I'm probably reading some of these so wrong. I'm so intrigued about Mary's education. What did you study at uni and college, etc.?
So at college, I did psychology, sociology, and human biology. I love science. Kind of wish I'd gone for that at uni. Fun fact, I got the top mark in the country at my A-level human biology.
Really?
And I know that because my teacher was, he worked like for the exam board part-time, like he graded papers. Because human biology was a small cohort as well. It's not like everyone was doing it. There was only, it doesn't even exist now because it's that.
Hey, take the W.
But I love biology. And then at uni, I did psychology. And then at my master's, I did forensic psychology. But I love learning. Like you, anything I'm doing, I research it. Like
when you're having the beer 52 and you're reading the Ferment magazine.
Yeah, exactly like that. Or like, you know, driving down the road and I like see something and I'll just think, what's that for? And then I'll Google Lens it and like have a look and just read about pointless shit. I just love learning.
It is amazing absorbing information. Down to the last 2 questions now.
Okay.
We got a silly one and a more serious one. We'll start with the slightly silly one. Jim L. Brooks says, what's your favourite thing to have on chips?
on chips, mayo and ketchup mixed together.
Disgusting.
It creates a beautiful blend. I don't really like ketchup on its own, but when you mix it with mayo, it's stunning. Or if it's Mackey's chips, sweet curry sauce.
And then we'll end on this one from Gillespie22. It says, can we hear a bit more about what happened to you in the Benodon video, and are you okay now?
Yeah, I mean, totally fine. Fine the next day, to be honest, or even shortly after on our walk home. I mean, I don't really know what more I can add to that because it was all on camera. Like you saw, I was filming and then the thing happened. And it was like he was walking behind me and his hand started like on my lower back and grazed down. And yeah, I was drunk and I mouthed off at him. If I was sober, I would probably not have been as acid-tongued.
Acid-tongued?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because in your
Never
sober,
heard that before.
In your sober mind, you realise the risk of doing that and the fact that it can add fuel to the fire. So, yeah, like the guy was with another guy and he was luckily quite sound. He was trying to diffuse the situation. He was just a wanker, really, and sadly, it's not uncommon. You
remember the guy at Leeds Fest?
Yeah, that was bad.
God, I whenever I think about that, I just get like so angry. So I just try not to think about it.
It's disgusting. I do think though, as a society, we're getting a little bit better in terms of like knowing that touching someone's wrong. Like when I used to go clubbing when I was like 18. It would just be part and parcel that your ass would end up getting slapped at some point that night. But I think now it's looked at as serious, which is good. So it happens a bit less to me, but pricks. I mean, I don't really know what else I can say about it. Like Choc and Raz were amazing. And then we laughed all the way home.
Hell yeah.
Not about that. We were just having a good time after that.
And it's all about laughing, and it always comes back to just having a laugh.
Yeah, literally. There's nothing that having a laugh can't make you feel better about.
Well, thanks so much for fielding, is that the word? The questions that the audience has sent.
I don't know if that is the word, but yeah.
Thanks so much for answering the questions that the audience has sent.
Thank you for asking them. Like, it's nice that you care enough to ask.
You got loads of questions, to be fair, but I wanted to just keep it to an hour. There was a lot of repeats or similar ones.
Yeah.
The biggest one theme that was not included was about like your skin and hair routines. So again, maybe we can make something for that. Or maybe in the off season.
So I did think about doing this because I get quite a few DMs asking about like what hair tool I use. So I send the link out, but they've stopped doing it now. It's been discontinued, sadly. But I have thought about doing a podcast based on more of like the girly shit. But I know that would alienate like so many of our viewers so I don't know. I
mean,
it wouldn't do well. It wouldn't do well in terms of numbers because
I mean, while on the main channel, we've just hit 26,000 subs on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
Which is mental because like that would have been such a massive achievement on the main channel, even not so long ago.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for tuning in and clicking. On the main channel, obviously, we need to be super on board with like what's going to do well and what's going to encapsulate the most audience. But on the podcast, we could talk about whatever the fuck we want. Like if you wanted to do that, I'd be more than happy doing that episode with you. Or you could do it on your own or whatever you think. I'm just trying to find the split of men and women, but I don't know where it tells you that. Male. So yeah, it's an 81% male audience on the podcast.
I mean, I'm happy to do one and you know, for the girlies out there.
On the main channel, I appreciate this is not the most entertaining thing as we wait for my shitty fucking internet to load. On the main channel, it's about the same actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, 80% male, 20% female. We can do that if you want. We'll do it whenever we can be asked.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Mez. I appreciate your time. I know you've had a busy day and a busy week and that.
No, don't worry. All good. It
It
was fun. I liked that. It was very fun.
It's good, isn't it?
Love talking about myself.
Same. That's why I couldn't help but just chime in. Well, we'll see you. Maybe not next week because I don't know if we're going to be able to squeeze one in. I am taking the podcast gear to Tokyo. So maybe if the guys would want to sit and do a podcast instead of exploring, then maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
But we might be. Do you know what I Googled today? Are you allowed to wear shorts in Japan?
Oh.
Because obviously it's really, like, we don't want to fuck with Japan. Everything I know about Japan, fucking amazing. But they have like a code and a way to conduct yourself and stuff. And apparently, shorts are no problem if you're a tourist. But they can't have or they shouldn't have, like the scraggly bits coming off as if you've cut your own.
Distressed. Yeah.
Mine are the ones I've made myself. So I'll be wearing jeans.
Oh, just buy some.
I don't have any money.
We'll cut off the distressed bits.
Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
You should just roll them up. Like do a double turnover.